So this will be kind of an unusual Sweet Maria's video. It is not about dogs. It is about stuff we sell and home roasting and kind of about like what's fair for us and what's fair for customers. It's about a returned coffee roaster that we got that everyone here found the whole thing to be a real bummer. Anyway, this is not something we sell. This is a range hood box. Well, I'll show you what the roaster looked like in the box. This is literally how it came to us, though. Showing a level of care, lack of care, that transferred through into what we found with the machine. Like, that is literally how they send a $2,700 coffee roaster. And not only did the original purchaser sell it to somebody else who probably it was already trashed, but then they tried to convince us that they hadn't sold it. They got the machine back when we told them that we would, the person would have to pay for the repair. The issue reported with the machine is that the front control panel doesn't work. So we get the machine back like this, bouncing around in the box. And, you know, obviously we see that there's some major issues here with how this machine has been used, cared for, and maintained. And we can see right away that there's residue like smoke infiltration, which has probably killed the wiring. But we also see just neglect everywhere on this machine. That it's been, drum is fine. These drums are bulletproof. I can't even get this to work right. So this machine has been severely neglected. Not only has it been used to incinerate coffee to third crack, but it's pretty clear that it's had a fire in it at the same time. And that just means there's been a total inattention to like roasting. Somebody who doesn't understand probably what roasting is and the roast process. And the other thing about this sort of, can you see him there? Oops, there we go. We feel strongly that people who have learned roasting, had a popper, had a Be-More, gone through the process, seen how fast coffee can go from second crack to fire. Maybe you've done that in a popcorn popper. That's fairly harmless. You dump it out and you have smoke all over your kitchen and your significant other is mad at you, and that's good. You know, they're not going to have that same experience when they step up to a machine like this. They're going to understand a little bit about the process and the commitment to paying attention, for example. So what we see here is just severe neglect. You know, using this like it's some sort of cast iron pan that you just burn things in and dump it out the back door of your house or something. The transfer tube has smoke. This fan, if you roast a lot of coffee, and you can roast a lot of coffee in a bullet, that is great. You can roast 20 pounds a week, you can roast 50 pounds a week. You can do that. But you need to take care of it and you have to up your maintenance. So fan maintenance on a normal usage, like a home roaster that roasts like 4 pounds a week and gives some away, etc., is, you know, every 6 months. Three months you should check this. 6 months you should clean the fan so it doesn't have residue on it. Belt doesn't really need maintenance and it's self-adjusting. But the kind of residues we're seeing here is just a combination of incredibly dark roasting, a lot of coffee, which is not the problem, of dark roasting or a lot of coffee, but it's the neglect. It's the fact that somebody just kept putting it through here. And they've literally had fires. I mean, we can tell here, and we can even see the paint here that's coming off because, that needs a huge amount of heat. And what happens with a bullet is your wiring is going to be exposed to smoke and heat, etc. So, I mean, I don't even know what this is. Dribbling down the back. It's like they had an exhaust thing with moisture and it just, So if you all have any comments about, how do we as a business, how do we balance out like support for something like the Bullet, which is I think really important. This chassis, this basic machine, maybe not the electronics because they become outdated. This should last you 10 years easily. The drum, the chassis, the frame, even the motors, the belt components, even the belt that you think you have to replace, that will last a really long time, but not if you do this to it. And, in just the age of kind of instant returns and, a kind of lack of responsibility, I think that coffee roasting really takes focus and skill and dedication. You have to, sort of develop yourself in the process. It's sort of like home beer brewing. And the result there is you just make really bad beer and nobody wants your beer. Coffee roasting is kind of weird because it's easy to make some pretty good coffee, but to still not know anything about it. So the issue here is they bought this machine, they sold it to somebody else, and they tried to tell us when we told them, when that person contacted us and said they had, the machine wasn't working, that they hadn't sold it to someone else and the original person tried to return it. So it's just kind of like shady. They could just tell us, hey, we haven't taken care of the machine, now we're having trouble, what can we do? And we'd work with them. So I don't know, what do we do? Because we want to keep offering equipment like this. We want to do a good job and we want to back it up with information. We want to repair it. We want to be there for people, but it's really discouraging when you have to deal with stuff like this and the deception on top of it. So, comment and let us know if there's something I don't get or what you think is reasonable, so everyone is happy.